took yourself out of a surgery? That's not like you.
You made 51 a family chief and this firehouse home?
You've inspired a group of firefighters.
He took Voight. He's gonna stab him and watch him die.
Get one call to someone you love.
I mean, I think Bowden is he's just the rock for all of us. I think Kid has matured and definitely sees how, if he were to move up, it would be good for the entire department. But, at the same time, I think there's a little girl inside her that is gonna, miss her father figure. So, yeah, along with me, are we talking about Miranda or are we talking about Kid? But, yeah, I also
will miss him.
Yes.
Yeah. We all will.
So
he's gonna be around. He's really not going.
Kid has matured.
She's
now teen.
That's right.
Yeah.
From kid to teen.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Maybe preteen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a long time since she's had a love interest, and her ex-husband has been suffering with dementia. And I think that she's trying to figure this whole thing out. But I believe she is definitely ready for love. And what I love about it is that now women of a certain age can know, and something that we've always known is that we are very much alive and very much ready to have these relationships. And I think she's been a hard-working lady, and now we have to see a little softer side.
Well, first of all, losing Tracy is an irreplaceable void. But I think that that's the way we're going to embrace it, and I think that's how Voight also will embrace it. The show and the shooting environment, the set, were changed by Tracy Upton, becoming part of this organism. And now she's moving off to create a different organism, Tracy and Upton, and we wish that to be a healthy, happy organism. And ours will never be the same, but that's also because she has affected it in such a way that she'll always be there, in a sense. Kind of like, my mom and dad are gone, but they're in me, and so they're right here talking to you. So, that's it.
I think right now she's just happy that he's alive. He got kidnapped. He got kidnapped. The truck got blown up. She thought he was gone. So I think right now, she is in a kind of bliss, just happy to have her husband home. They have a conversation that was kind of inevitable about their future in the finale that may set them on a rockier course in the future. So yeah, I think we have, but that's how relationships are, Right when you get good, then you have a conversation and you get a little deeper and you kind of drift apart a little bit just to come back together. But we'll see what happens with them.
You know about that?
I don't know about that.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, it's always the hospital, the biggest conflict, and there's always something going on, something explosive. And we've been dealing with a lawsuit from the brother of the love interest of Dr. Charles. So that's the main thing that we're going into the finale with, how that will be resolved, if it's resolved. But for Goodwin, there is always something happening in the ED and in the hospital, and she also has to deal with her diabetes. So that will come into play because she's not really taking care of herself. So, yeah. And it's a great thing that we've done because I'm diabetic, I'm type 2, and so I appreciate that we use that as a part of her storyline. I remember one episode when I took off my coat, the response I got from the sensor that I had on was extraordinary. So that's a part of what will happen to the next couple of episodes.
Well, obviously Voight has been drugged, and he's not dead, and he's gonna find himself face to face with the guy he's been trying to find, except for he's completely constricted mentally from the drugs as well as physically, because he's bound. And he tries to find a way to get out of the situation, but also to, stop this guy, which was his original purpose. And he's got to kind of wing it and figure it out as it goes. But there's some surprises, as Voight goes through this process. He's wounded, as this serial killer likes to, bleed people out. Voight is kind of dying, and in the process of his confrontation with death, he gets to experience some things that I'm sure that the fans will be thrilled and excited to see that they've never been able to see before, parts of him.
Listen, I think for the thing about Med is that there are always these incredible stories of instances where people come into the ED and we find out some new medical thing. I think more than anything, that's what fascinates me about it. There are things that I have never heard of before, and so our stories will always encompass that and carry us, all the characters, through trying to figure out what this is that this person has come to us with. Aside from, the usual things, like, gunshots and all of this other business. So the thing that I always say about Wolf shows is that you sit down to be entertained, but when you get up, you've been entertained, but you've also been educated. And I always think that's important, that television at its best entertains and educates.
We definitely have some juicy revelations that are going to take place in this season finale. Speaking to the show in general, I think one of the things that's wonderful about our show and all of our shows as first responders is reflecting this community back to the public and really showing the lives of these people, the interpersonal relationships, and how we navigate emergency and crisis and always come back together working as a team, especially in the firehouse. You know what I mean? There's so many of us. So I think fans can look forward to, all of us coming back next season, ready to serve the community, ready to serve Chicago, and, put out them fires.
Put out them
fires, baby.
Yeah. The way we kind of attacked this season, which I thought was interesting, is that, we've had a lot of, buildings blow up and people get shot and terrible things happen, and they affect these people. And what we kind of did this season, I think, is pull back a little bit from the explosions and the terrible things happening, which they do happen, particularly to my character, you know, at the end. However, it's what this season has been about is how all this awful stuff, you know, like cops see things every day that, you know, if anybody saw it, you'd change your life.
Yeah.
So how has it affected them inside their minds? How have they coped? How are they moving around with these emotional kind of wounds, you know, these kind of psychological limps? How do you continue to keep walking? And I think going forward, we're going to continue along that vein, but, you know, kind of get back in the saddle as well. So I think it'll be getting back to a little bit more razzmatazz, but still always being aware of, you know, how wounded we've been, you know, as human beings, not just physically.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's fun and interesting to play.